So about 2.5 months ago, I was driving, and luckily my car saved me. I almost ran right into the back of a trailer. And why I'm telling you this is that when I did this, my bucket here, a 5-gallon bucket full of water and soap, went boom through my whole car. And I have a little bit of a stanky smell. So I'm starting to wonder if I possibly have some, I don't know, just some nasty moisture buildup. So I hope it's not rusting, but yeah, that kind of sucks. What's really funny about being able to fill up from my outside of my house in December is that this has been like the nicest December in a very, very long time. I usually starting November have to fill up inside the house every day and put really hot water, but it's been really different this year, which I know at a lot of places there's not as much cold or snow, but yeah, being able to fill up outside, which is very, very odd. But this begins my best of 2021 video. It's not going to be so much product based. I don't feel like a lot of new products came out in 2021, but at the same time, I just want to show you some stuff that I really liked in 2021. One of the first things I reviewed in 2021 was Gladiator, which is this soap right here. I know they come in a new fancy bottle now, but I have really enjoyed this soap. I usually use Dawn, a little bit of Glassine, costs less overall. But if you're looking for just an all-in-one, good slip, really, really good smell, just a really good soap, I suggest this. Another thing, I don't know what's in it, but it never freezes, so that's really nice as well. But this is what I usually, how much I put in. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6. There you go. We'll get our mop in there. That's that. I got a bronze wool pad. Oh, that's an old bronze wool pad. Don't be jealous. I saved one because I knew at some point I'd have a really hard job, and I had that the other day. So anyways, I am gonna go. We have 2 days of work. I'm gonna take you along for this next 2 days. It's kind of my last 2 big days before the year's done. January, I'm not trying to schedule a lot. I got home scheduled, which I hate, but I'm gonna do that. And then so I got a home today, easy one. Show you some stuff on that, but mostly talk about products 2021 and other things like that. And then next day I got gutters and a big house to do. Big house, but very easy house at the same time. So just take you along for the next 2 days. This may be the last video for 2021. I'm not sure, maybe I'll pop out with a new one. But the next year something very, very exciting starts. Something very, very exciting. So yeah, let's go. All right, so I'm just doing the inside of this house, and I figured I'd just tell you quickly about some of the things that I've been using this year, done from the other year. Walnut pads, great abrasive, not as crazy as bronze wool, but with the shortage, these do a really, really nice job. And you can even have them on the Techno Pad holder. They hold great. This one I've had on for like 3 months. Still really good. Works really, really well overall. One other thing that I've been doing for homes is Squeegee Life towels for tracks. These work amazing for tracks. So I always just keep one of these on me whenever I'm cleaning at home with dirty tracks, and it really soaks up the stuff really well. For homes though too, I also switched to all fish scales this year for detailing. That was one change that I made that I really, really liked. I just found that the job they do is a lot better than any other towel. So detailing now is all fish scale. So let's keep going. Okay, so small learning moment. So I was working with my 14-inch channel that I've always worked with for 2 years now, same channel. Someone was asking me about this just the other day, so it's just as funny this came up. But when I put this green rubber in it, it was getting really caught towards this end. Worked a whole house with it, and it just kept grabbing the glass every single time I closed out on the right end. And so looked at the rubber, there's no issues there. I knew the rubber was good, so came out and just slid it through a different channel, and it slid through totally smooth. So every once in a while these channels do get bent or something on the ends, or something happens and you need to get a new channel. So, you know, test those kind of things if you're getting a lot of grab, if you have an extra channel. But that's what was going on with this, and now we're all good. And now I'll just throw out this channel and be done with it. But I mean, got 2 years out of a $12 channel. So money well spent. I think I see kind of what happened there. You can see the wear. I don't know if you can see that. It's not even that bad. I have channels that are worse that are fine. But something to think about if your rubber is just ever grabbing the glass a lot, that it could be the actual channel is messed up. Brass is always my favorite. This is the first year where I really just have buckled down on what I like, and I don't really try other things. Ettore brass is my #1 for anything. Don't mind the Ninja. Don't mind the Ninja for commercial, but I have just totally stuck with brass this year, and I'm not switching anymore to different things. I just keep with this, and I love it. Some people call it standard. I call it amazing. Right then. You having fun in your Finding Nemo? Finding Nemo! Yay! He's such a good boy. Oh, you know what? I think I talked about this in last year's video, but I'm going to talk about it again because every year I get tons of questions about it. To me, best glasses are Oakley. I don't know if you can see what that says. It says Batwolf. Oakley Batwolves are these glasses. So to me, I love these glasses, but it's more with glasses what fits your face, right? Or just like, what style do you like? I think honestly, one of my most favorite things I got this year were these shirts. I know I just talked about it 2 videos ago, but honestly, that was like, I think one of the best decisions I made was getting these shirts done. It makes me wish that a little bit, and that right now I had a huge crew that I could outfit in it, but I don't see that in my future with just the way that this year's gone, in a good way. I just don't see that. I don't see that happening in my life anymore. Just because of how much stuff I do with sales now, WCR and stuff like that, just takes most of my time. But having these is like, man, that would have been a good looking crew. To me, it would have been a really good looking crew. So I'm going to go clean some gutters. Very simple gutter job. I've got just my simple gutter cleaning tools. I actually carry now small plastic trash bags. They're like, I forget how many gallons, but that's what I do now so that they're light, and instead of taking a bucket up, if I need to fill up anything, I fill up those and I can throw them from the roof. They're not heavy enough that they'll bust open. So that's what I do for that now. And then I have my blower, my full backpack blower. That's like one of my favorite things I got this year. That thing, I can have like, this might be an exaggeration, like 15 to 20 feet of gutter. Either way, be up on the ladder and just blow right in the gutter if it's dry, and everything just flies out. The only time I don't like using a blower is when it's really wet debris, and say like a stucco home or something like that, or any really home, it can kind of just like blow shit everywhere. So I'm careful with that. Like this job, I'll clean out everything, and then I'll also wipe down the gutters with the handy sleeve and wipe off the drip marks and stuff like that. And they kind of details it really nicely. Squeegee light towel, the Maker handy sleeve, and it works really, really nice. So I'll show you some shots from that job. And then I'm gonna go to a water-fed pole job. A house looks big, like I said, but it's not gonna be hard at all. So we'll go do that. Other things, let's see here in 2021 that I really, really enjoyed with window cleaning. Oh, this van, I'd have to say this van has been a very great purchase for me and what I do. It's perfect. If I had one other person, it would be good. It would get a little bit packed. I could never do a third person, of course, with this van. I wouldn't even do that, even if I had a whole bench seat. But this van has been great. It's been really, really good. Another thing that people always ask me about is my tool belt. Every year, I get lots of questions about that. So, I think it was AEW used to be the company that makes the same bag, pouch, and belt that I use. So I use a Carpenter belt, and then I pick them up at Lowe's, or you can order them online, and it's the Cobalt, K-O-B-A-L-T, Carpenter belt. And that's what I use for my belt. That's what I've kind of used for many, many years. So I think AEW got bought out by Cobalt, so that's why it's now a blue and black pouch. So people ask me that all the time, but I don't really want to make a video all about my belt again, because there's a lot of those. So that's as far as that goes. Silencer, always love the silencer. Have that, always use that. I haven't done anything plastic in a while. I do want to try at some point the new Mormon tool holder. It is a plastic bucket on a belt, but kind of want to try it because I think it will hold a sleeve and a flick pad. But then again, I'll probably just go back to the silencer at the same time. It doesn't really matter. Anything else in my belt? I started using Triumph scrapers this year. Not that I started just using them this year, but I've used them for like a while. I used to use them a lot, like almost a decade ago. Scrapers is a scraper. As long as I can pretty much fit in like a 6-inch Unger blade, I'm pretty good to go as far as that goes. So Unger blades will work with Triumph. Triumph will work with Unger. I used to use that Sorbo scraper for a while in 2020. I liked it, but because the blade had so much flex in it, I did find that the blade broke often, more due to my own fault. But I just like to be pretty quick with my scraper, and I couldn't be as quick as I wanted to with the Sorbo one. But extremely, extremely sharp carbon blades with that one. So that's a good thing about that one. Just kind of going around my tool belt here. Trad poles. Oh my gosh, trad poles. The more thing fun about trad poles this year is that all the colors. And that's what kind of makes trad poles fun. There's literally people out there probably with like 10 different trad poles that are all different colors just because the colors make them fun. So one of the really popular colors that came out this year was, I think the blue came out this year in a trad pole back in the spring. A lot of people wanted that after the blue micro came out. And then they had the hot pink come out during the summer, about July. That was a really big hit. And then recently just had the lime green, kind of hot rod green come out, which is just, I love that thing. You cannot lose that. Always, that's my favorite extension pole. I don't use aluminum poles at all for anything anymore. At all for anything. That was definitely favorite trad poles. Well, as far as poles go. Water-fed poles, nothing much this year. As far as new ones, the one that I use the most is my own anymore, my SteveOnator. And usually now what I do is I have that thing stripped down to like either about a 30 foot or a 25 foot. I hardly do any jobs anymore that I need 40 feet on, so I never have it all compacted to a 40. And remember, this month I am doing a SteveOnator giveaway for my water-fed pole if you put an order through me through WCR. So you can hit me up. I have all my information, my phone number, 970-599-1437. You can text or call me. You get an order in, and I'll pick the winner January 1st. Last month I did a GoPro giveaway. Matt Odette won that one. The month before I did a Xero Trad 20-foot giveaway. And Teak won that, so that was really, really cool. And I'm just doing these as an appreciation kind of back. And I think they're fun too. And it's fun to get free shit, you know? Like, why not? what else? I think that's good for right now. So we'll go clean these gutters and go from there. So, as you saw, that took all of, well, you don't know how long that took, but that took all of 30 minutes, and I do charge a minimum. I cannot tell you what that minimum is because too many local guys watch my videos, so I can't tell you that, but it works out very, very nice. So now, we're gonna go to a home that I was supposed to be to for 2 hours, but nobody lives there right now, so I can go there early. The outside should take me long enough that everybody should be there by the time I'm ready to go. But yes, I think it is good to always charge a minimum for gutters. Well, charge a minimum for anything, right? But reason being for gutters that's important is like things like this where you spend time going there, and if it's a little, and if it's like a little job, then it's like I planned, you know, a certain time slot for this, and I'm only making this little. That's why gutters just have to be at a pretty good minimum. I would go no less than like 125. I think if you go less than that, I think you're really cutting yourself short as far as gutters go. But I tell you what, my final process is this. I do clean out the bag as much as I can. If it's not safe to reach it, then that's where I use the blower. If I know the job and I need a 28-foot ladder, bring a 28-foot ladder. But basically, I try to work as safe as possible doing gutters. If I see that a job has situations where I need to tie off, I simply decline them now, since I don't use the gutter back. And so that's just the way I do gutters. You know, really window cleaning is my main thing. Gutter cleaning, I'm really not too worried about. It's a simple add-on, but I really don't feel bad telling customers, hey, that's out of my scope of work. Like, think about it. You know, as a window cleaning company, you could be a commercial storefront resi guy, and somebody asks you, hey, can you clean my 10-story building? And no, you're probably not going to unless you're certified for high-rise. That's not a bad thing. It's just out of your scope of work. So don't feel bad about that. I think sometimes what happens when you're newer is that you want to do everything and anything, and that was one of the reasons I bought the gutter back, because I thought, oh my gosh, I'm gonna do all these big gutter jobs, and then, you know, different situation happened. But still, don't get too wrapped up in the tools and equipment, and just remember that the main idea here is make money. You know, that's part of the reason why I did this channel, is you have to remember is that one of like the original person who taught me on storefronts. I was taught on residential prior, but I didn't know like a whole lot. But the original reason why I made this channel was to make it easier for you guys to know the good tools and the bad tools, so you can move beyond that and just make more money. You know, there's YouTube channels out there and influencers who try to really go after like, oh my gosh, you have to do this technique, you have to use this tool, you know, and it's like, no, you don't need to use exactly certain tools. Yes, professional tools that you buy through us as a supplier are going to be better than Home Depot tools. Yes, you don't want to use Home Depot tools. In my experience, they're just not good enough. The quality is not good enough. But reason being of my channel, and like I've heard from many people say, thank you for doing all of these reviews, because it's helped me know exactly what tools to buy. Whether they decide between two different tools that I suggest and they decide on one, then hey, I've saved you a bunch of time that now you can invest your time in not exploring tools, but making more money. That's the dumb thing about if someone says, oh, you figured out your tools and they make you a lot of money. Well, I think you should use this tool because it's better. You know, why try to reinvent the wheel? That's the big thing, you know. I do think if you're a professional company, you should have a water pit pull. You should have your squeegees. You should have everything that you can have as far as that goes, but they're all tools. You know, but I just get, it's frustrating seeing some of these influencers go really like hard on, you have to use this certain tool to be good, and that's just, it's just not true. Some of like the best window cleaners I've ever seen have been like 30-year-old veterans who just who use the most simple freaking tools and do an impeccable job. You know, and that's what it's about. And they realize, I figured out the tool part, I figured out the technique part. All I want to do now is just grow the business. And that's what it is about. That's what it's about. And that's why when you look at a company like Fish, why they do so well is because they've realized that. They've realized it's really about a simple, basic training for window cleaning, then it's about getting the actual jobs. And that's what a business is about. Now, if you want to be a lone ranger, I'm a lone ranger, but it's in a different circumstance. But if you want to be a lone ranger and that's the way you want to do it, great. You know, but don't let someone tell you that you have to use a certain tool to be good at this job. You know, there's only really a couple people out there that take that notion, that think they're the best. Nobody's the best at window cleaning. I'm not the best, nobody. We all have our own ways of doing it, and that's the greatest thing about window cleaning. Is you could work with 5 other workers. All 5 of you could clean, I don't know why this thing keeps coming up. You could all clean 5 windows 5 different ways, and it would all look good. That's the thing. If you train your guys that they have to be exactly like you, do not plan on having a good relationship with them. Because if you are so about where your hand is, where your thumb is, blah, 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 your rubber must go in one way, but all that stuff, you will not have happy employees. You know why I know that? Because I used to be that way when I was a manager, and it was not good, and it created a bad environment. And then once I let go of all that, it created a very good environment. And the one thing that I see about a lot of the guys that preach this stuff have only worked by themselves. They've only ever worked by themselves, and they've never worked with anybody, which is a funny thought. Working with a lot of different window cleaners will broaden your mental horizon so much on what's possible, and you realize what they're good at, what they're not good at, and how a team forms, you know. And so that's just the crazy thing to me about people who preach that one way is the only way. You know, like CRMs. There's so many different CRMs out there. People love and hate some, you know. That's just how it goes. But anyways, rant done. I'm gonna go to this next job here. This is really a freaking easy job. I'll tell you a little bit about this job when I did the construction clean right before Rylan was born, like the week before. And so I was told by this company when I did this that, oh, that's probably gonna be bad, son. I was told by this company before I did the job, construction clean, hey, these windows are extremely, extremely expensive. Be very, very careful with these windows. And so I was extremely careful with these windows. And apparently they were flown in from overseas, whatever, not flown in, but had to be on a boat. It was depending on how big they were. And they were like, you can't be scratched, blah, blah, blah. I don't scratch glass, I just don't. So when I got there and started cleaning, I found so many things that they had already done. And so I had to create like a whole long log of pictures and everything and detail it, and never heard from them after that. Never heard from them. And then 2 weeks ago got a call. We loved your work. Would you come back and clean it one more time before the people move in? Heck yeah, I'll do that. So, but it's a super nice home. I won't show you the whole home. You'll never see a whole home picture again on my channel. I have changed the way I think about this kind of stuff. I have prioritized privacy. So that's the reason really why if you ever see an inside shot, it'll be just the glass. You'll never see a whole room shot. Outside is fine, right? But I just really want that privacy factor just overly cared about anymore on my channel. But all right, we'll go clean this. I'll use the World 1 Pure Water system. Pretty freaking sweet system for one pole. Flow is great. I've really enjoyed it, so we'll use that. I'm just gonna water fed pole a little bit of glass. I'm not gonna water fed pole the whole thing. This is just one of those jobs where there is a lot of stuff all around the whole entire property, and it would kind of make it harder to just go willy-nilly on the water fed pole. I could pole and ladder quite a few things and make it really easy. It's a very important thing about water fed pole, and not all understand, is that just because you have water fed pole doesn't mean you water fed pole everything. If it's faster by hand, it's faster by hand. So let's go. I'm not going to use this brush today. This is definitely my new favorite maintenance brush. Talked about these, the X-Line brushes. Do a really nice job, really nice rinse. So I'll probably use boars here today, but I've just been using those a lot and really like them. All right, SteveOnator, 30 foot. That's all we'll need on this job. And we'll get going. So I'm dealing with horrible pressure here. Last time I did this, I had to hook up to their back home, which I had 200 feet of garden hose. My pressure was fine, but their pressure here is horrible. So I switch my brushes because these X-Line brushes get better pressure. But I have a lot of friction in the hose going down and all of it going up. So this is one of those houses where I just do everything that I need to do that's high with the water fed pole. And this is all maintenance clean, because I've already construction cleaned this 5 months ago. But water pressure, you just deal with it. It can suck from time to time, but it's just something that you have to know it's gonna happen. And this is why I always suggest having a booster pump on hand. But man, that water pressure is horrible. I don't know if you can see it. About 1 foot from the pole there. Had to come up on this roof to get these two skylights. Beautiful view up here. See down all the boulder. All right, my battery's trying to die, so I'm gonna do this. Finish up water fed pole work. They're here. I'm gonna go do the inside and then be done. And I'll get back with you guys. Maybe a little squeegee montage. So oh shit. So one thing I was going to say about this World 1 system is that putting it in van or truck is way easier. Oh, let me get this. I feel like this thing's going to tip. One moment. Slight delay. So one thing about this World 1 is that it's a lot easier to get in and out than the Xero Pure. So the Xero Pure, you would have to grab the front and then grab the handle on this one. And you put it in, pretty much have one handle on the base and then one hand down here. And it makes it a lot easier to get in. Let me kind of just show you how I do it. So I grip my one hand here, grip another hand down here on the frame, and it's just real easy to move in and out. So let me do that again this close, okay? So one hand here and another hand underneath on the frame, and you can lift it up real nice and easy, which makes it super portable and super easy to get around. And it lays like that, super nice, because one other change is this handle is now a T instead of being just a straight down handle like the Xero Pure. So it just stands up a lot nicer, and your wheelbase is about 15 inches and about 54 inches long. So a really great system. If you see that mine is kind of bent in a way, this was a demo one of demo frames, so they're not perfect. All yours will be perfect, but just wanted to share that with the world. One perfect one pole system. That's what I would say. All right, that is the end of that day. Well, 2 days. So I don't know what this video quite helped with. Make sure I got everything on my truck, everything on my van. But I just kind of want to share with you some of my thoughts from 2021, some of my favorites. Not a lot of things that I hated. I think one overrated thing that I was able to do a video on was probably the Pulex uni handle. That was the only thing that, like, I think it's good, but I just think it has a lot of room to grow to truly be better than the Mormon accelerator setup. You know, once again, I don't like the liquidator, but I like Ettore brass in there. You can fit an Unger S channel, Unger S Plus channels, Stakone, featherweight channels, a lot of different stuff you can fit in there. But yeah, anyways, and then, but I have to say, you know, 2021 was a weird year in that a lot of things changed for me. You know, like doing days like this are a lot different now than when I was working, you know, every single day, 6 days a week for many, many years. I had a lot more better energy to clean with and to get things done. It's a little different now, just not doing as much cleaning and doing a lot more actually on the computer than anything else. Gained a little weight, that's for sure. Trying to get that under control in 2022. That's just, I've never had a sit-at-home job, so I mean, doing that is just totally different for me. So it's been very different getting used to that, but it's been very good. Like I said, end of last year, and I'll say it again, is that sales is really cool in that so many of you I gotten to know so much better because of it, and that's been really, really cool. But I mean, best thing of this year was Alex and I having Rylan. That's just been a huge welcomed happy change that has just been the best thing ever, which if any of you are parents, you know how much it reprioritizes your priorities, and just makes you enjoy life so much more and realize that work is not everything, which was something that my mind was really wrapped around for such a long time, and why I was doing so much social media stuff, which I do quite a bit of social media stuff. I don't do as quite much on YouTube anymore because of the time invested. But I think that what we're going to be doing here next year is going to be really good for both sides, as far as being able to share a lot of knowledge, but isn't too crazy on my behalf or the other's behalf that's going to be a part of it. But I think it's just going to be really, really helpful to everybody who's watched this channel for a long time and who's wanted more interaction, more questions answered on a regular basis. I think that's going to be really good. But thank you to all of you who have been my customers, who have supported me through this year, and you guys are always awesome. And
you know, really in 2021, it's just been, you know, I thought COVID would be done this year. It's not. It feels like that's going to be around forever. It's just, you know, it's been 2 years of pretty crazy times of trying to figure out life. And yeah, so I've rambled on enough. I hope you all have a wonderful holiday. This will be the last video of the year, and we'll start again back in January. So anyways, peace, love, blah blah blah. We'll talk to you soon.